Show starts in minutes.
We're happy to have you with us this evening and want you to enjoy every minute of your stay here. And while you relax and stretch, visit our concession where you'll find something to please you. There are ice-cold drinks, delicious sandwiches, ice cream, coffee and snacks, and many other pleasing treats. Our foods are fresh and tasty, our drinks satisfying and refreshing. They're so good.
You get more out of life when you go out to a movie.
Well, feeling real down as if I didn't have a friend. There's time to look around me and wonder why I have to pretend. Each year goes by, I find myself a little bit older. Drinking water from the same little spring, you feel it's the end. I just wanna hear my songs on the radio, playing them loud like in the studio. Think of what I could do if I had just one song. I just wanna hear my songs on the radio. I just wanna hear my songs on the radio, playing them loud like in the studio. Think of what I could do if I had just one song. I just wanna hear my songs on the radio. Just wanna hear my songs on the radio. Playing them loud like in the studio. Think of what I could do if I had just one song. I just wanna hear my songs on the radio. Songs. I just wanna hear my songs on the radio.
Hey, welcome to the Dave Darren Show. You can see Brad in the background. Brad, how's it going?
Oh, it's me. Am I there?
You are there, and you are glowing with that. With what do you have there? Butterfly, right? Blue butterfly.
It's my blue butterfly.
And that is exactly what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk. Brad has this crazy, great video out there called. I'll let you announce the name of the video. Music video.
Music video is called "I'm Coming Home."
Very cool. Very cool. And part of that video is very fascinating. It was mixed very professionally, by the way. However, some of the off-to-the-side photographers with their cell phone captured some anomaly that we're going to discuss tonight. We're not going to have my perspective. We're going to have the caller's perspective. We're going to have Brad's perspective. We're going to get some callers from Chip, who was the producer, director of the video, along with some other guest callers and your calls to the show to discuss this with Brad.
Lots of callers. And in fact, I've gotten a lot of email. Where do we call in? What's the number? How can we talk?
Well, speaking about calling, I have to have that little study next week. I have to have my call-in checked. So callers call in, and next week I'll be taking my call-in to the doctor to have that inspected. Right? So,
hey, it's good to see you, Dave. It really is.
It's great to see you.
This is a treat.
Well, thank you. No, it's a treat to have you on. I appreciate that. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play. You recorded some stuff, and just to get to the nitty-gritty of what we're doing, you recorded the understanding or the mystery of the blue butterfly within the video that the two perspectives gathered from opposite sides of the theater, by the way. There was a right and a left perspective, and they both captured this orb or anomaly that we're going to discuss tonight, right?
That's correct. The thing of it is I wanted to I wanted to capture the making of the video. And I asked my sister and my wife to shoot from, both different sides of the stage as Chip was actually filming the music video, so that later on we can put together, the making of the music video. So when I reviewed the video that they shot, I'm seeing this blue butterfly flying everywhere, and I'm thinking, what the hell is that, and where did it come from? It wasn't on the footage that Chip shot, and well, there you go. It got me to thinking. So I went to Connie's footage, and it was the same little butterfly from a different angle, going in a different direction.
Wow.
I mean, it was just amazing, and so that's why I put it together, and I wanted to show it to you and see what you think, because I'm at my wit's end trying to figure this out and figure it out. I'm sure there's an explanation for it, but I haven't found it yet.
Cool. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to play your little explanation about what we're going to review tonight, and then after that we're going to come back and we're going to discuss every aspect of this with the callers and the guests, etc. So let's play this right now, and you'll get a firm understanding of what we're talking about. So here we go.
Sounds good.
Hello, everyone. This is Brad Mercer. Welcome to the mystery of the blue butterfly.
It circled the barn, then it dropped straight down.
Now, as you know, Peter Sutter and I, along with our wonderful band, have just completed our first official music video to our first single off our EP called I'm Coming Home. It was brilliantly directed by award-winning screenwriter-director Chip Miller. All of us were extremely pleased with the way it turned out. During the time that Chip and Travis Miller were in post-production and editing, I decided to go through some of the video that was shot by my sister Sue Lynn and my wife Connie, which they did on their cell phones. What I saw gave me chills.
Oh, boy.
In the footage from my sister's phone camera was what seemed to be a beautiful blue butterfly soaring through the set along with the music. Now, mind you, the first thing that I thought was this had to be a reflection from one or two of the lights that were lit during the shoot. But that theory disappeared the moment it changed with each stanza of the song. When I sang, it flew to me. When Peter played his guitar solo, it flew to him. It was like a controlled entity following the music. Hey, don't take my word for it. See for yourself and let me know if you can explain this.
They didn't call it a saucer. They called it a glipper.
A glipper?
Dragons. I guess that means yes.
These four rooms, brightened iron and withered fumes, far below these sinful means.
Okay, guys, welcome back to the show. Brad's still with us. Brad, you're hanging in there, I see.
Yeah, I'm here.
I can see myself in your glasses. I look good. I look good tonight. Thank you for double vision. I look good in stereo. I sound bad in mono, but I look good in stereo. So, Brad, that was a really good introduction to what we're going to talk about tonight, right?
Yeah, it was. It kind of nails the hammer nails the nail into the whatever.
Yeah, it's funny. You know, when we get to holidays in Arizona, they put up these bulletin boards up on the highways. It says, what do they say? I forget. Don't drive stoned. Don't drive hammered, or something like that. They put these signs up.
Something like that.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So we're going to talk about this tonight. Now, by the way, callers calling into the show, 480-236-2111. Call in, and we're going to study the video today of what Brad's videographers on the side. It was Connie and Sue Lynn, I believe, right?
Right, yeah. I hope they can help me out here, because I'll tell you what, I'm stunned. I totally am. And I get chills every time I see this video.
Cool. Now, there's some aspects of it which I think I have an understanding of what took place. So I'm going to kind of describe my understanding. But then there's some parts of it where I really cannot get a grasp on it. So bear with me on this one. I want to play the first clip for us right now. And
Okay.
I'm going to talk over because I took out the audio in the background. But I want to show you guys something that I see here. And note, I'm going to tell you guys what to focus on. This is Chip Miller, who is actually he's the producer and director of the video. Is that correct? Both?
Right. He actually directed it. Travis Miller produced it.
Okay. So this is what we've got. So we got Chip in here, and I see the orb alongside of you, but then I also see it moving towards Chip, and Chip had a dark suit or dark shirt, and you can
Right.
see the orb, which is on the forefront of his shirt. So I want to show that, and I want to discuss this single aspect of what we're going to show you. So let's bear with this and check it out. Here we go. Okay, so you guys see the orb here, and you see it on the forefront of Chip's dark shirt here. You also see it moving on the ground. And now you see it back towards Chip, and you see it illuminating in front of Chip's shirt. So a couple aspects of this I like to make clear, or to my perception, is usually if you see something crazy on a cell phone with things moving around, not only would you see the thing moving around crazily, but you would also see the video focused on the band to be moving around as well. Like if someone's unstable, you'd expect to see unstable lighting, unstable anomalies of lighting, but unstable focus on the band and the members of the band itself. So, but we see a stable capture of the band and the people, but we see the orb moving. So that's a little bit unusual, right?
Yeah, it is. But the more that I look at it, and I try to debunk it myself, I come to the conclusion that now wait a minute, the camera's still, but this butterfly is going all over the place. It's like caressing the set.
Yeah. Yep. So I found that to be fascinating. Now, one thing I wanted to think of when I saw the orb in front of the black shirt that was being worn by Chip, I thought, well, this is unusual because if that orb was more on the stage, you wouldn't see it predominantly focused on top of Chip's shirt unless it really moved from the stage towards Chip and moved in front of him to this perspective of the viewer. So that was a little thing where I thought this could be something different than a mysterious anomaly. I thought this would make it seem like more of a video anomaly. So on that one, but like I said, there's other parts of it that I deem a total mystery. But that one, when I first saw that, I thought, this is predictable.
If the butterfly would have landed on Chip's shoulder, I would figure, well, maybe he had put some sugar or something up there, and
Chip the sugar daddy, right?
No, I hear exactly what you're saying, and I know there's people out there that have actually experienced stuff like this before.
Yeah.
And if that's you, call us and tell us about it, because I'm still stunned at what I saw.
Yeah.
And I not only did I see it there, but I've seen it in other places, like on the Queen Mary. I've seen all kinds of phenomena. And this falls right into it because this is a happy phenomena.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting also that you saw only one orb. Sometimes you see multiple orbs. And I do have a person who I'm going to play the video from who has actually seen multiple anomalies. So
good.
You check this out. This is interesting. You will find this fascinating. This person has actually seen 3 anomalies, and they'll tell you about it. Here we go.
There's been 3 saucer sightings in these parts in the last month. Well, actually, there were only 2. One was a flying shoebox sighting. Shoebox?
Okay, we're back now. By the way, you just saw a clip of one of my most recent viewings of an old show called Green Acres. So if you know the words...
Great show.
If you know some of the words, I'm going to sing it right now. I'm not going to sing the female part. I'm going to sing the predominant male part. But it's Green Acres is the place to be. Far living is the life for me. Land spreading out so far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside. And I'm not good at falsetto, so you're not going to hear me do a Barry Gibb. New York is where I'd rather stay. I sound like an old lady if I try to do a female voice. So we're back again. So let's talk about something else that we've got. So far, we've seen something that I kind of detect as something that could be logically attainable. However, we're going to get to a lot more stuff. We do have a caller right now, so let's bring the caller in and see who we have on the line. Hey, this is Dave Darren on the Dave Darren Show. You're talking with myself and Brad here. Who's the caller, please, and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from California, and my name is Margaret Webb.
Okay, hey, Margaret, hang on a second. For some reason, I do not have you engaged in the PA system, so I'm standing up, not to show my sexy legs, but I'm going to try to grab you on the larger video here. So now, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. So I'm going to turn up the volume here. I thought I had this.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot better.
Can you hear me now, caller?
I can hear you now.
Okay, great. Now we got you tuned in. Great. So, any things from you perspective on seeing anomalies, orbs, or do you know Brad? Have you met Brad before? Did you witness anything unusual? What do you think? What are you talking about tonight?
Well, I'd like to say, you know, sometimes, because I know maybe 30 years ago we used to see those, and I can hear you. The thing with those were somebody close died, and you know, I'm from down south, being from Louisiana and moving to California. I've seen these types of things before. I know John just passed away. He was real big in the music industry, and normally when you see a lot of little moving, dancing, because I mean, I see it dancing and I'm looking at it and I'm like, you know, sometimes it's a part of their spirit that's just still lingering with music.
Yep. Now, I think in the background you probably are playing the video. So if you don't mind shutting off the background noise.
I put it on pause.
Huh. Okay. So
cut the TV down. Cut the TV down for me. I think they're getting some feed.
Yeah.
Cut the TV down. They're doing a live on Facebook. Cut the TV down for me. I'm going to cut my TV down as well.
Okay. Something in the background's bleeding into us. Okay. So, by the way, caller, so you do believe in spiritual entities trying to present themselves?
I believe if God is real, so are spirits, angels. If Satan's real, then, you know, we have a lot of things that are around us, and a lot of people don't want to believe it, but it's true.
Okay. Brad, what do you think about that? Do you believe in spirits, or are you a spiritual guy? Do you believe in energies coming from the afterlife to the present life? What's your belief system?
Well, if you asked me that 20 years ago, I was so self-absorbed into what I was doing that I didn't even think about it. But now, yes, I believe that I do believe in God. I'm a Christian, but that doesn't mean that there aren't bad entities out there. I do believe in angels. I've seen, like I say, phenomenon that really proves to me that there is a life after. I mean, we're here doing our thing, and we're trying to learn stuff, and when we pass on, we leave this energy, and the energy, some of that energy remains. I don't know. I don't have all the answers, and we won't have the answers until we go to that big nightclub in the sky. So it's just amazing to see. Unless it's in our minds, we see this little orb, and then all of a sudden you see angel wings that are perfectly structured. I don't know if you saw that. I don't know if we're going to see that.
Yeah, we will. We'll see
clip.
that. We'll see that.
But if you freeze it, you'll actually see these wings, and it tells me right there, there's something going on here.
Yep. Now, we do have a second caller that's calling in. However, the caller I was talking to right now, I'm sorry, I try to be polite and get people's first names. So what was your first name, caller? I'm sorry.
Sue. Margaret.
Okay. So thanks for calling in. By the way, do you believe in orbs having a certain segment of mentality? For instance, Brad is a musician. He did a great video. And we're thinking about maybe it was John or someone that was in that orb. Do you believe that it's more of an entity to entity of common musical theme that would present the orb?
I think that Brad and the whole cast just had a beautiful musical entity around them. I mean, because Brad brings out that type of show when he performs his music. He puts his whole heart and soul in it, and I know that anything that is good is going to be attracted to him. So, I just had to call in and let him know. I just feel like it was maybe one of his brothers or sisters that he played with in music that wanted to be there and couldn't be there because they passed on and they left a good spirit behind for him.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that specific music video with the emotional theme behind it and the passion behind it probably was the communication entity to bring that potential spirit into focus. And it was also very nice that spirit did not interfere with the major production quality of the video, but it was captured in the side elements. So that was also...
That's the thing. That's the thing.
A polite spirit. On top of it all, a polite spirit.
Yes. A polite
but there
spirit.
you go. Hey, do you hear me?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, you do. Okay, because I'm kind of dealing with the backlash of the YouTube, which I just turned off. Those two spirits, or that spirit, that entity, was having an awful good time, and I wouldn't put it past John or George, or it could be our loved ones, it could be our moms and dads. You don't know, but it's just the way it was handling itself on the set, and only in those cameras. So the energy was there. Everybody felt the energy. I mean, we had about 75 people there, and they all felt energy that I've never felt on any kind of a music video that I shot. And this was really incredible.
Great. Well, thanks, caller, for calling in and talking to us and Brad and being part of the show. I appreciate it. Hopefully you'll listen occasionally, or maybe you'll listen very often. I appreciate you calling in, though.
Thank you. God bless.
Hey, God bless. Take care. Okay, we did lose the caller. We had a call from 760 area code. So if you'd like to call in, and I'll cue you in the conversation. But one other thing I wanted to mention to Brad was I did see the butterfly there, the blue butterfly.
Right.
I saw the wings, but I also noticed something else you may not have noticed. In one frame, I saw some smoke, so I think he was smoking a J at the same time. Although, do you call it J now? Is that the thing to call it that's cool? Or what's it called now?
Hey, I come from, the doobie side of things.
The doobie side, right. We do have the caller 760. Let's bring this caller in. Hey, this is Dave Darren on the Dave Darren Show. You're talking also to Brad. So who's calling in right now?
I can barely hear you. I'm listening to the show. This is Sue.
Sue, yeah, could you shut off the background if you don't mind so that we don't get the bleed over? Is it possible to do that?
I can, but if somebody else is watching it here. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay,
cool.
Is that better?
That is better. So who's calling in? So, I'm sorry, I didn't capture your first name.
This is Brad's sister, Sue Lynn.
Oh, Sue,
hey, Sue, what's up?
Oh, not much. I'm just enjoying watching the show.
Hey, I'm glad you called
We had
in because
company
I want
actually
you to
come in to
tell
watch it,
Dave
too.
what you told me about the blue butterfly.
Yeah, and actually, what you're showing up there looks like more white, but on our video it shows more blue. There's some other videos that are shows it a little bit more looking like a butterfly, and it shows a little more brighter in the color.
Well, we're going to get to that other part. I was taking the video that Brad sent me, and I chopped it up into various sections. So we'll probably get to the section you're referring to in a couple of minutes. But just tell us how you found it. I think Brad told you that there was an anomaly in the video and in the cell phone video, which you didn't initially see, and then you reviewed it, and I think you saw it then, right? Is that the way it happened?
Exactly. Well, the first time I didn't, because I'm so enamored by watching everybody's faces and watching the music and everything. But then, yes, I did pick it up, and I actually reviewed it again today. And what I found interesting was that it didn't show up in some of the video that Brad is not in.
Oh, I didn't realize that at all. I didn't capture that. You captured that. So that's interesting.
I captured it today. I went through, we had about 12 clips. And it was more predominant when Brad was actually in the video.
Huh. Okay.
Even when he was just walking around using his camera, when he got closer to us, then it all of a sudden appeared again.
Okay, question for you, Sue. I'm curious about this. When you were actually filming with your cell phone at that particular moment, you were very focused on Brad and the members of the band. You did not notice this at all while you were video recording. Is that correct?
Oh, no, not at all. And I wasn't the only one holding the camera. It was actually my boyfriend's camera. And so he was taking films because I'm in a lot of the shots on that. And so it was also in it when I'm actually in the video as well.
Okay.
Well, I need to see some of this stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Who am I talking with?
Oh, that's Brad.
That was Brad.
That's Brad.
Huh?
Oh, that's Brad. Brad's actually on the video as we're talking to you, Sue. So we have Brad on and myself and now you. So one question.
Oh, okay. So they're actually listening to me, huh?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. So be careful.
Oh, yeah, you're on the air, Sue.
Oh,
so
darn.
don't say poop
Okay.
or crap.
Well, no, I mean, it's just interesting. I don't have any experience in the orbs or anything like that. I've had other interesting paranormal experiences, but nothing like this. But it is very interesting.
Okay, now one thing I noticed is that whoever was holding the camera, yourself or whoever else, was holding it very still. So when they're focused on Brad or members of the band, whether it be the drummer or whoever it was, any other member of the band or any other person focused on, you were holding or someone was holding the camera very still, yet this entity was moving around quite a bit. So did you find that to be a surprise as well? I found that shocking.
Yeah, I did. You know, it's just that you don't know what it is, and because when I'm looking at I've got you on the big screen right now, it's not showing up as blue as it does in our videos. Okay. It actually was the color of the butterfly that Brad is holding. That is the color that shows up in the video.
Okay. By the way, another question for you, then I'll get Brad to maybe ask you a couple of questions as well. But let me get this one off the top of my head. The lighting that was in the studio there, where you were filming it. You know, I mentioned that your focus on Brad, whoever was holding the cell phone camera, was holding it very steady. So if you're holding it steady, is there anything else lighting in the room that was moving around, which would create an effect potentially to show something else moving, any kind of light source? Or was all the light stuff pretty static as well?
Not that we're aware of, because Chip was very adamant that all the lighting was shut down in the room.
Brad, how about
because they needed their lighting for their cameras.
Yeah, Brad, how about yourself? As far as the lighting setup in the room, was any of it moving around like you hear, disco balls in the 70s and the 80s?
Yeah, no. We had one light, which was like focused on the center of the stage, and it was grabbing me. Uh-huh. And I don't know what section of the song we were doing, but it was just one light. It was like one spotlight. Did not move. There was no disco lights or anything. And, of course, the backlighting, there was a video showing that Chip had produced during that section, but not enough for it to illuminate into the room.
Yeah, I found that to be, like my points of view here, or my points in this was that the cell phone was held very steady. There was no light fixture that was moving around to create an illumination of various projections of lights moving around, floating around. Everything was static except for the orb.
Chip can give you more detailed information on that. If I don't know if he's listening. If he is, Chip, call in to the show and give us your perspective on it. But he could definitely tell you lighting-wise. I was concentrating on really what was going on the set, and I just felt energy.
Okay.
And,
well, can I give you another little interesting tidbit?
Yeah, absolutely. So sure. Why not? Go ahead.
Yeah. In looking at the videos and everything, there is a section there where Cynthia Villanova, who was assistant there for the crew, when everybody got up to gather around, she was...
Oh.
And her hair is blowing. There was no wind blowing toward her face, yet her hair is billowing like in a wind.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We lost about 4 seconds of what you said, but we got you back for some reason. There was a cutoff, but that I think we got the overall focus on that. Is someone's hair was blowing in the wind, but there was no wind in the room, obviously, right?
Exactly, and I showed it to her. She's actually sitting in the living room with us right now, watching you guys. And it was just so interesting because there was no fan other than maybe one behind Buddy down on the stage behind him, but it wasn't blowing toward her base. It was blowing from behind Buddy on the drums.
Wow. So that's another anomaly that I didn't catch. I'm not sure if I have video to propel that to let you guys see it.
Yeah, now I'm going to watch the video in a whole different prospect.
Yeah, we got two other extra things to watch. Exactly right. So Sue, thanks so much for calling in. What I'll do now is I will play Chip Miller. Although we got another caller. Let's see who's calling. Sue, thanks so much for calling.
All right. Hey, guys, I got to turn you back up. I'm missing it all.
Cool. Okay. So again, thanks for calling in. Let's get our new caller in here.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Our new caller, we have another caller, the Dave Darren Show, talking to Brad right now. Who do we have on the line, by the way?
Hi, this is Chip.
Chip, how's it going?
Yeah.
Good. How you doing, Dave?
Hey, I'm doing really well. Brad's doing really well. I'm glad you called.
Hey, Brad.
Great timing, great segue. We want to talk to you about your perspective, the whole thing. Tell us about what you think off the top of your head.
I've been doing a lot of thinking about it since we've been dealing with this. I've come up with two conclusions. One's a pro and one's a con. The pro is that I like Brad. I do believe in the spirituality, and I don't know if Brad knows this, but I was actually raised over a funeral home. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we do. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hear you loud and clear.
I was raised above a funeral home. My father was a mortician, so growing up as a kid, I lived the 6 feet under lifestyle, literally as a teenager. And I cannot tell you how many times in the middle of the night I would look out my window and see orbs. Now, we're not looking at a cell phone. We're looking from my eyeballs to life. So I've always kind of had a little bit of sense of that. I also was very involved in the Edgar Casey Foundation. I don't know if you're familiar with Edgar Casey, the psychic. I knew the family, and I've been down there several times. And I saw orbs when I was down there. That was like 30, 40 years ago. So those are the pros. So I do believe in it. However, I have one little observation that I've been making, and you guys just kind of firmed it up when you were talking just now. Everybody, including myself, has been talking about how the cameras are still, the cell cameras are still, but the orbs flying all around. So I say to myself, what in the room is moving around if the cameras aren't? And there's one thing that's moving around, and it moved around in our video as well, and I went with it creatively, and that was Brad had a huge, huge reflection blast on his guitar. So if you look at our video, you'll see when he's singing, you'll see this white flash constantly going across the body of his guitar. And at one point, my cameraman said, are you happy with that flash? We could try to get rid of that. And I went, no, leave it. I'll edit around it and make it look cool. And so we did. And you could see it all through the video. Every time he's on the guitar, you'll see that light flash go through his guitar. So I'm thinking if the cameras were the cell cameras were shooting, they were not shooting at Brad. They were shooting behind us at the crew. If Brad's reflection was bouncing around the room from his guitar, the camera could have possibly picked it up as a little flare.
Okay, so it was a reflection, and I know what you're talking about, but it's more.
Yeah, we even talked about it. Remember, I even came up and I said, "God, you got a really hot reflection on here," but we went with it. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was a big one. It was a big white one.
It was huge.
Yeah, but this is a little butterfly, Chip. This is a little butterfly, man, flying around.
No, but I mean, I'm saying if the reflection of the body on your guitar flashed out, it was going somewhere, that reflection. So it had to be bouncing on the wall or something.
That's possible.
What I meant. So that's my
I'll
con.
have to look at that again.
Yeah, maybe try to recreate it if you can, if that's at all possible. Now, the room, I guess, is going to be tough because you'd have to worry about the lighting in the room, your position in the room, so it'd be hard to replicate that, I'm sure.
But
right?
we had all as Sue was saying, I had every light in the place. I didn't want any of the natural lights for the room. I didn't want any of their room lighting or their exit signs. I wanted all their lights off, and the only lights we had was a small spotlight and a large spotlight, the one that Brad's talking about.
Yeah,
and the only thing that kept happening is when we were shooting Brad's stuff
lights.
is that flash was going through his guitar body constantly. And we could have adjusted it, but there was something about it that was also intriguing, so I left it in. So I'm thinking if Sue and these other people are shooting from the side, they're not seeing the flash on his guitar because they're behind him, but they may be seeing where that flash is reflecting and beaming to. I don't know.
Yeah. That's possible.
I like to believe
but
I like to believe it's angels.
Yeah. To me, it sounds kind of far fetched.
Very. Thanks, Chip. And by the way, I did ask Brad at one point. I said, was anyone wearing a belt buckle that was like the shiny chrome type? And I remember Brad wasn't certain about that. But you might be the guilty culprit.
No, I had my shirt over my belt.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, a lot of people wear the shirts over their belts now. I do that too. It hides that little belly that we've grown to so lovingly accustomed to over the years. So we do have another caller here. Why don't you stay on the line, Chip, and maybe you can answer some questions. We have another caller here. Identify the caller who's calling in to talk to myself.
Hi, Dave. This is Sparky.
Sparky, how's it going?
I'm real good. I just had a couple of comments I wanted. I've had some experience with orbs myself, and I don't know if you guys know, but some people do believe that what orbs are actually light beings that are making themselves known. Okay.
Right.
Now if I caught the beginning. Did Brad say that basically the orb was around him and they all had good feelings that night? Did he say that? Did I get that right?
Yes, yeah, the orb, the butterfly would fly around me when I sang, and then when Peter, my guitar player, would do a solo, it went over to him and kind of caressed him, and then it got really erratic, and it was like when the music was kicking up, it just started going with the music.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I think Sparky was asking another question too, which is a great question to ask, by the way. So let me reiterate. Hopefully I got her feeling of this. When this anomaly was around you, now you didn't witness it at that moment, but did you have any unusual feeling at various moments that you can almost synchronize now that you rewatch the video? You can say, at that moment, I was in this frame of mind, or I felt like I felt something, or had a interesting feeling at that specific moment.
Yes, that happened throughout the video in different places.
Different that's stanzas. Why I'm kind of wondering if maybe that was some sort of a light being, whether it be someone that you knew at one time that's passed on, or possibly a light being that was hanging around the area that maybe really liked music. I mean, that could be too. That could be a real possibility.
Well, that would be my entire family.
Especially when you were talking about the wind, your sister was talking about, I believe, wind blowing, and sometimes spirits and entities and stuff can cause a feeling of wind. In fact, it's a long story. I won't get into it, but that happened to me one time. As far as light beings, also, I don't want to make this about me, but I think it could tie in. I was at Lake Shasta one time, Mount Shasta one time, and I was on a camping trip. And there was this gentleman sitting at my table in front of me, and I looked behind him in the woods. I saw 3 little lights, and they were like light orbs, and they were just kind of dancing around, and I thought, oh wow, that is really cool. And the minute I thought I'm going to tell him to turn around, they disappeared. Now, I told the camp host about that. The camp host said, oh, well, that's because they were little light beings and they were greeting you, and it was only for you to see. A couple of nights later, I bumped into another gal at the campsite, she and her husband, and I told her, she started telling me, last night my husband and I, we saw these little orbs of lights, and they were all different colors, and it was just so cool, and then they went away, and I thought, oh, damn, I only got to see white ones. How come I didn't get to see the colored ones?
Yeah, that was some good acid.
It's not an unusual phenomenon, and I just think it's like really, really, really cool. When you first started talking, and I was looking at the video on my cell phone, so it was a little tiny. I'm on my tablet now, but I initially thought, well, sometimes it's reflections. But then when you were talking about the lights being shut down, etc., I thought, that kind of rolls, away the possibility of possibly a light reflection. So, possibly, bottom line, probably it was a light being, and it was there to greet you, say I love you, or, whatever. So that's all I can contribute.
Well, Sparky, thanks a lot, because that does make a lot of sense. And also to kind of add to that, my experiences in the lit, which is where we shoot Brad's pad and where we shot the music video, where the restrooms are by the dressing rooms behind the stage. And one night she went into the restroom just all by herself, and she went into one of the stalls, and all of a sudden she heard water running. Well, you know how those in the casinos, most of the casinos have got the high tech where you push the button and the water runs, and you get your hands in there, and then you dry it off and everything. But she's sitting in a stall, and she hears somebody else in the stall next to her. She heard the person next to her actually peeing. Okay? And she gets out of her stall, and she says, "Everything okay in there?" And nobody said anything. And she heard the toilet flush. And she says, "You okay?" And she opened up the stall, and there was nobody there. And she opened up the other stall, nobody there. Opened up the other stall, nobody there.
Any history of quote being, well, we'll call it haunted?
No, it's a very fun ghost, whoever it was. But what my point is that this happened in the lit, and it's on Indian land, and they've given this ghost a name, like Harvey or whoever. But it's just a mischievous little ghost that likes to have fun. And this happened not once but twice to my wife.
Cool story.
I mean, that's to me. I mean, if that happened to me, I'd say, "Okay, see you later. I'm out of here." But no, my wife was real cool. You know, she says, "Okay, I get it." But she was the only one there, the only one in the restroom.
Well, you never know if that same particular entity might have decided to take on its own self as a light and a light being, and possibly maybe really enjoys music and really enjoyed your music. So maybe you were just being greeted and given a treat.
Yeah, who knows? I kind of like to want to go with
you never know. I mean,
with Peter
so
Sutter on
much
this
to
one
this stuff,
instead. It was John and
so
George.
much we don't know, you know. But it's just a great story, and thank you so much. And you're a lovely man. I'm really enjoying listening to you talk.
Nice to talk to you too, Sparky.
Okay, thanks a lot. I'm going to hang up, Dave, so somebody else can get on the line.
All right, cool. Thanks, Sparky, for calling in. So,
okay.
by the way, Brad, here we had another anomaly. We had the butterfly, and I told you that I saw the wings, and I saw a little smoke, and he was smoking a J. Now we've also got the entity in the restroom, so obviously he was smoking a J and having a beer.
Right. There you go. There you go.
All right, so Sparky,
Brad,
thanks a lot for calling.
Okay, I may hang up, Dave. Bye-bye.
All right, cheers.
Bye.
I'm glad she stuck through for that joke. I'm glad. There we go. So Sparky hung around to hear the joke. Great.
Good joke.
So now, you know what? I'm going to pull in. Did we lose?
Is Chip still there?
Chip, are you still here? Looks like we might have lost Chip. We'll see if he calls back in. But hang on a second. I'll tell you what. Let's play Peter Sutter's clip.
Okay.
And his observation. Let's play this because Peter hasn't called in. He may call in later, and hopefully Chip will call back. So while we're playing the clip, if any callers want to call in, it's 480-236-2111. And I'll have you call in and talk to Brad, ask Brad any question. It can be anyone else. Anyone. Chip, anyone else. Peter, call in. And here goes the clip from Peter Sutter describing what he saw. Here we go.
Okay, I called up Peter Sutter via Zoom on my computer and got his opinion of what he saw.
It was really interesting. They weren't flying in one particular spot. They were moving around like an orb with wings, and it would go to certain areas where whoever's, I think it was Connie, there was a couple shot different people, but the movement of the camera had nothing to do with this entity or orb or butterfly or whatever it was. The first thing I said when we were backstage is I think we have some George and John in here somehow, because it was a trip. We were doing the video in honor of the Beatles, and that's the first thing that I thought of.
What's this got to do with flying saucers? Oh, did you see one too? No. I did. It's about 11 o'clock at night, and I was getting ready for bed when this saucer buzzed the barn. Really? And what did you do? I pulled down my shade. I'm shy.
Okay, we're back here live. I believe we have, I think Chip called back in. Chip, are you still with us?
I'm here.
Cool. Now, I did notice that we got a call from Terry, but I cut Terry off because the background noise is still there. So, Terry, when you call back, unless it's an orb in the background playing the show, please shut off your background noise unless it's an orb. If it's an orb, then you got another story that we're going to tackle tonight. But let's get back to Chip right now. So, Chip, you've been checking out the show, and you've been checking out some of the stuff we've been talking about. Anything to add that you've now has trickled into your brain and you want to say, I discovered something else tonight already?
Well, I have a question for Brad, because I actually wrote a message to you guys right before the show starts. I don't know if you got it yet, but I was thinking about the whole Native American thing. Besides being on Native American land, reservation land, is the casino owned by Native Americans, Brad?
Yeah, the Cabazon Mission Indians.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a rumor that somewhere in those grounds between the parking lot and the thing that it's somehow touched on the sacred territory or burial grounds or something? Somebody had mentioned that to me.
You know, I was thinking about that, and so was Rosalie, who is a friend of ours that lives with us. She's Native American as well, and she made a point that's very possible. But it's whatever it is, it's all positive energy, and
absolutely, it wasn't scary at all.
I have my webmaster Bill Cody. Chimed in. I was reading something he was writing here, and as a scientist, he says he thought somebody maybe would have been upstairs on the balcony playing a prank on us with a laser beam. But you see, if that was the case, it would have shown up on your cameras as well.
Yeah,
that's correct. And plus, there was nobody up there but our lighting guy and Alan when we had him up there shooting those balcony shots. We kept that clear, so there was nobody there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you what, guys. Let's do this. I want to play, and hang on here, Chip. Hopefully we won't lose you this time. But I'm going to play Buddy Greco Jr. because he had an unusual perspective. Because I believe at some point, whoever was videographing from their cell phone at that particular moment, they enlarged or blew it up, or maybe you did, Brad. But there's
it wasn't. It wasn't blown up.
I thought I saw it like zoomed in, not blown up. I mean zoomed in.
Oh, I see. Zoom. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, that would have been my wife's camera.
Okay, so I think your wife zoomed in to get a closer perspective of the drum parts that Buddy Greco Jr. was playing. So let's play that. I'm going to play that, and then actually I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to play it in slow motion to capture one perspective that I thought was really interesting. So let's play that right now, and here we go.
Okay.
Now this is when we were shooting Buddy Greco Jr. on his drums. You notice now it starts over there on the right-hand side, and it's white. It's more white than blue, but it's the same thing, having the same good time, coming around Buddy, caressing Buddy. What's that?
It's fluttering, or like little light kisses.
Now watch as it departs Buddy's around his head. You can see the wings of an angel. Now, come on.
Okay, now I just finished playing the Buddy Greco clip. Buddy Greco Jr. I better indicate senior and junior. Buddy Greco Sr. was obviously a tremendous vocalist. I admired his music back in Philadelphia with WWDB, which was a jazz station in Philly. So I followed his father, tremendous vocalist, by the way. But by the way, Buddy Greco plays drums. Or Buddy Greco Jr. plays drums. Also, other instrumentation from him as well.
Buddy is an amazing performer. He plays guitar. He sings like a bird, and one of the best drummers I've seen and had the pleasure of working with.
Great. Were there other family members in Buddy Greco Sr.'s family, like sisters or anything that Buddy Greco Jr. has?
I think he spoke of family. I'm not sure, how it goes. You'd have to talk to Buddy, and if he's out there, Buddy, call in.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me play the clip now in slow motion to try to identify something I thought was a little bit interesting.
Okay.
And it kind of gives, it kind of takes the mystery out of it a little bit. So I'm going to show this, and I'm going to talk over it, and hopefully you guys will see what I'm talking about. Notice the light. Watch the light, and notice how the light, if you see the motion of the light and the way it's scattering up at the top, you can kind of see it. It's in synchronization with the orb. Now, I think you're going to see it again. Watch the top part, and you can see as the top part moves near the lighting overhead, you could see how it was moving in synchronization. I'll play it again since I talked about it. Maybe you can watch it and see what I'm talking about. Focus on the overhead lights and the way it scatters a bit in complete synchronization to this orb. So watch this. I'm not trying to disillusion people that this could actually be an entity, but I'm just trying to see what I see and capture that. So let's watch this here.
Now this is when we were shooting Buddy Greco Jr. on his
Buddy
drums.
Greco on the drums. You see the
You notice
orb
now
down
it
there
starts
near
over
the front
there
of the drums.
on the right hand side, and it's
And now watch
white.
the overhead light. You see
More
that
white
little
than
arrow
blue.
almost. So
But it's the
kind
same
of like
thing,
the
having the
light
same
is
good
in
time,
sync with the orb.
coming around Buddy, caressing
It doesn't
Buddy.
do anything conclusive.
What's that?
It seems to
It's fluttering.
be
Or like
connected
little
a
like
bit with the lighting fixture.
Now
Yeah, it's
watch
hard
as
for me
it
because I'm
departs
seeing a delay.
Buddy's
There's 7 or
around
8
his head.
seconds, so
You can see the
That's so no one
wings
uses the
of
F
an
word.
angel. Now, come
It's
on.
like you know that as well as I do, radio guys from the decades. So that, and I don't do that actually. YouTube mandates that little 8-second delay there. So
Yeah,
by the
gotcha.
way, Chip, were you able to watch that in the delay? Were you?
Yeah, I'm actually watching it right now. I mean, I know exactly what he's talking about because actually Alan pointed that out. But you notice it only happens in that one brief section to the right of the drums in front of it when it's up there floating around. Once it goes past Buddy and comes into the foreground, suddenly the light's gone. So I'm still curious as to where's the orb coming from, and why doesn't it have the light behind that? We'll call it a light tail. That's what you're talking about, the light tail, right, Dave?
Yeah,
like
that
a
is
tail of light reflection, right?
Yeah, that
so
is
why
right.
why isn't it there for all of it? That's my curiosity.
Yeah, and the only reason we saw it longer is I slowed it down by 50%, so we see it longer.
Right,
so you're
right.
right, it's a very short segment. So you're right, it still is an anomaly perspective to that for the majority of the clip I just aired. And you're right, it was only predominantly viewable, and not even predominantly viewable. It was something that I noticed that I thought could explain a little bit about it, but everything is not conclusive. It's still a mystery to me as well. But Brad, now that you probably saw it in the delay of 8 seconds, are you seeing what we're talking about? And what
Yeah, I do, and I feel like I'm being scrutinized by NASA. But yeah, it doesn't change my my perspective on it at all. Even though I'm looking for an explanation, and I wouldn't even have given it to you if I didn't think that there was something to this, because I know that you would get in there and use your any way possible to find a reason for this butterfly.
Well, I do know the reason.
Now, Brad, this is a perfect opportunity for you to give us a little Rod Serling, because I know you do a wonderful Rod Serling.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Submitted for your approval, Dave Dimon, constantly scrutinizing Brad Mercer with his blue butterfly. We'll find out more later on the Twilight Zone.
Now, by the way, this is not scrutinized by NASA. What I think it is Russian collusion. That's what it is.
No,
That was excellent, Brad.
You know, yeah, thanks, Chip. You know, it's so cool to do this and see different perspectives on it. And when you slow down the video, it's still, you see the wings. They're there.
Right? That is true. That is exactly right. So,
and I'm not smoking a joint. I haven't dropped any acid in over 30 years. So,
well, after this NASA scrutinization, you will.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, my sister says that the blue butterfly is known to be nothing but positive energy, and it's an aura. People have auras around them. Everybody has a different aura. There's red auras, there's yellow auras, there's the blue aura. The blue is all positive love energy, and you look it up. You know, you can do a search, and it explains it. But when you actually witness something on your project, I wasn't ready for it. To be honest with you, you know, that's why I took it to Chip, and when I showed Peter Sutter, it totally blew his mind. He wasn't ready for it.
Yep. Now, how about something else? I think you said you saw an orb, or somebody saw an orb, and had some photography of it on the Queen Mary. So this is kind of a
I
single
think I
anomaly.
sent you those photos.
You did,
I think
right.
I did. Connie and I were on the Queen Mary. We spent a couple of nights there in a room. And I wanted to go down all the hallways and all, they talk about how the engineering department was haunted and the pool area. Always something weird going on, people seeing actually spirits and stuff. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, I went down there myself and took a bunch of pictures of the pool area. And I don't know if you've got them there or you had time to put them in the system, but there's a shot of the pool and you see all these orbs. It's undeniable. And I didn't use a flash.
Now that I don't have to present, but we're just talking about it, so just visualize it in your mind. Unfortunately, I don't have it at the top of my fingertips here.
And going down the hallway on the Queen Mary.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we do have another call here from California as well, so let's join Chip with our caller here. Let's bring him in or her in. Let's see who this is.
Dave.
Yeah,
Peter Sutter.
We do have another caller. Who's calling in right now, please?
Peter Sutter.
Peter, okay, how's it going? Great to have you call in. We did play your clip earlier and your explanation of what you saw and the fascination with that. So give us, in your own words, now that you're live on the phone, you've heard Chip talk about it, Brad talk about it, myself. What are you thinking now? Are you thinking a little bit of mystery solved? There's still a complete and total mystery and an anomaly that in your mind is not an anomaly. It's actually a spiritual being that came to visit you guys at this emotional video.
I think the whole thing is about getting everybody together and talking about it, whether it's something we can believe in or just letting it. I'm more interested in what we're going to do with the upcoming video on It Just Missed Us. Can you imagine that? If this thing's going to continue on, this entity or orbs or butterflies or whatever you want to call it. This is just fun as hell. Being with you guys and Brad and the call-ins and Chip and Sue and, hey, this is fun.
Yeah, Brad, so a question for you, because I said it's going to be hard to get this whole setting back in action again, but maybe it's not if you're going to do future videos from that same setting. Can you attempt to replicate this, and do you think it's if you believe it's a spirit here, which I am believable in that as well, if you believe that there's a spirit that visited you, during your next video, are you going to be trying to capture it? It may be hard to capture it because now it's going to be intentional.
Well, no, it'll be a whole different video. It Just Missed Us is based upon a big asteroid that just missed the Earth. And we wrote a song about it, and we played it for Chip. And I think I asked Chip. I asked you if we can do a video on that, and he says most definitely. But we can probably shoot some of it there in lit at Fantasy Springs. And when we do it, I'm not going to go looking for the entities. We'll have the camera shooting the same stuff.
Oh, I will.
Oh, will you?
Along with everybody else. Yeah, this is fun. I think our eyes going to be, we're going to be looking over our shoulder next time around for sure.
Okay, we'll be looking over our shoulder when we perform live again, if we ever get in there.
Yeah, here. That's true.
Yep. So, Peter.
How you doing, Peter?
Go ahead.
Good. Is this Chip?
Yeah.
Hey, Chip. This is nice. We got, 4 people on here?
We sure do,
yeah. So the next video we're going to do at an observatory.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Wow.
I already got it worked out.
I'm ready for this.
Where's that located? Where's the observatory located? Where is that?
There's 2 of them. There's one actually in Burbank. It's a smaller one. It's like a smaller version of Griffith Observatory. Griffith Observatory would be a little bit too expensive. But I think we'll do it in the one in Burbank. It's a nice little observatory.
Wow. Now
I think I know which one it is.
Yeah, so an asteroid almost hit the Earth. Was this a true thing? An asteroid almost hit the Earth, and I missed that news item because I'm focused on it?
Yeah. They and the government didn't tell us about it until after the fact.
And when was this? What year was this?
This was just this year.
Really?
Last year, actually.
Wow.
And Peter and I wrote it just after it happened. When we were in Newport, we wrote that song, and We heard about it that it
there
missed
was
us by
another
40,000
one that came
miles.
by too, and this is becoming an oncoming, event where, for some reason the authorities are not tuning us little guys in on this, and I think it's, with the world it is right now, it's kind of important. We should know these things to be a little more prepared. And that's as simple as I can say it. It's astonishing to know that it's like, just give me a little heads up,
Oh, so we can write a better song, or just kiss our asses goodbye.
Yeah, this isn't War of the Worlds. We're not going to jump out of buildings, but we're kind of hip to that back in those days, and we live in a different space now, and things are very real, and it's happening to us right now. Yep. And it's just being aware of our surroundings now.
Let me help Peter out a bit with this. Peter mentioned asteroid and heads up. By the way, Peter, it's heads down when there's an asteroid, all right? You're supposed to put your head down and duck, all right? Head up is not the right approach. Head down. By the way,
well, Chip, let me ask Chip a real quick question. Chip, of all the videos you've done, and you're an amazing director, and you've shot a lot of videos. You worked with a lot of artists. Anything like this ever come up on any of the other shoots that you've done?
There was only one other shoot that had kind of a magical moment. It was an R&B band who actually did Christian stuff too, and it was kind of a big hit. A band named Youth Edition, and we had a couple of guest stars in the video, Faith Evans and Shaquille O'Neal. And we shot it out in the desert near Joshua Tree, not this Joshua Tree, but over by Palmdale. And essentially, it was the moment where I wanted the one guy to just, on this particular note of the song, to fall to his knees, and the rest of the group would just be standing. And so I made this indication, and all the guys fell to their knees at exactly the same time. And we looked at it in the editing room. I didn't plan that. There were all these like white lights above the guys. So all 5 guys went down when I only wanted one, and there was all these like white lights above them. So we left it in the video. It's cool. But other than that, no, I think this is a first.
Wow. It is fascinating. And by the way, to go back to the asteroid thing, in Arizona, I wonder if it's the same one you guys are talking about, because this asteroid, it was about a year ago too. Actually, in Arizona, a lot of people here have the house cameras, and they have cameras that they put in their cars to capture, traffic accidents and liability and all that. But there was video taken from not only an automobile, but in front of people's houses, where it illuminated the sky to be like daylight. And I remember the car video was capturing the actual physical light projecting from the sky. So I wonder if that's the same one, because if it was, it actually propelled itself from California to Arizona. And I believe it landed somewhere close to Arizona, because it was something that really did occur, and it was all over the news, the web, and all that. It was an amazing event to see captured on people's home videos and car videos. So it was amazing. So let's see.
I know that this one that we were writing about did not actually hit Earth, and the scientists say that if it did, it'd be something out of like the Yucatan, that kind of size, which would create earthquakes and an aftermath that would be devastating.
Yep.
Well, I don't think you'll be able to see that happening, because we've got some pretty good technology out there, and one great technology is prayer. I'll tell you that.
You can only hold hands and pray so much.
That's true.
Well,
Lord, don't hit me, please.
Yeah, you can't hold hands now and pray. You can't hold hands.
Okay, getting back to this blue butterfly. What have you got you haven't showed us yet?
I've got a couple things. Let me show you the perspective where I think someone mentioned, whether it was Chip or Peter, that it could have been John or George here. So let me play this.
It might be John and George kind of flying around there, adding their little blessing.
Wow.
It's delayed.
It might be John and George kind of flying around there, adding their little blessing
Now I don't see it there, but there it is there.
You saw the reflection a bit, and you saw that you saw the stable video and the stable imaging of the artists, the performers. You saw a stable light fixture up there in the ceiling, and you also
look at Brad's guitar, the white on the guitar. But now it's gone. See, that's where it gets weird when it goes behind Brad. But right there, it's hard to say.
Should I play it one more time?
No
Now that you mentioned it, should I play it one more time so we see it again?
Yeah, because if you look at the beginning, you could rationalize that it's his guitar, but then it goes behind his guitar and then throws the whole theory off.
I love it.
Let's play it a third time so we capture now, since we saw Chip discuss what he thought he saw with the guitar and the possible idea here. But let's capture it again in video. Here we go.
It might be John and George kind of flying around there, adding their little blessing.
Now, actually, when we see that again, I name all of my clips so I know what they're about. That one I put in here, I said, looks like this is unexplainable on this particular clip. I couldn't explain it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch this on the playback after the show's done, Dave, so I can see everything in perspective here, because the delay's throwing me off.
Okay, yeah, the delay is tough. I can't get over that.
No, that's okay. I just jumped out of it. I've just got you live here on Skype.
Okay, so now Chip talked about it. How about Peter? You're still with us, Peter. Did you watch that clip? Did you see it? Do you know what I'm talking about? Did you want to make any commentary on that particular part of that clip?
Actually, I stepped outside because of the delay, so I don't know exactly where you're at.
Okay. Okay, but Chip was with us, and Chip discussed what Chip, chime in one more time and tell us what you thought about that particular clip.
Yeah, Peter, what happens is I don't know if you were listening to the show earlier, but Brad had a very hot spot on his guitar, which during the shooting, my cameraman was concerned about. He said, this thing's going to be flashing all over the place. And I said, no, let's go with it. I think it'll be cool. I'll cut to the rhythm of it. So in the video, it works. So just now when Dave was playing that piece, you can almost rationalize that the orb is going everywhere that Brad's guitar is moving. Every time you see the white flash of his guitar, you see the orb flying around it. But then the whole theory goes out the window because the last part of the thing, the orb goes behind Brad, where there is no reflection.
Well, could this possibly be like a ricochet off of some other object? You know, like lens, lens to lens, or something shiny up above. There's a whole, upper deck there where all the mixing stuff is.
No, it wouldn't be there, because then it would be on our cameras. So I think the only reason the cell phone picked it up is because it was shooting outside of our arena of production. Everywhere that we, we got our little circle there, and everything outside that circle, it's clean to us in our lens. But because you guys are seeing it on the cell phone, it must be catching some flying reflection. And I was rationalizing that maybe it's that hot spot on Brad's guitar. But then that goes out the window, Brad. That goes out the window because you show the orb flying all around Buddy. And your guitar is nowhere near there.
Yeah.
It's like you're not even in the shot.
So I know.
What makes it so confusing.
Phenomenal.
Like, you can rationalize it and then you can't rationalize it.
Yeah, we have another caller now. Let's bring the other caller in here from Las Vegas, I guess. So Las Vegas is going to be an interesting place to get a call from, since Las Vegas, Arizona is a hot spot for UFOs and anomalies and all of that stuff. On the previous show I used to do about anomalies and paranormal. From Las Vegas, who's calling in?
Oh, this is Glenn.
Glenn, how's it
going?
How you doing? Good, I'm glad you've been listening to the show tonight. Glenn, you've been watching it, listening, and what's your commentary here?
Well, my cousin was watching this with me earlier tonight, and he's done extensive AV work. He said that the main subject could appear to be stable due to the phone camera's image stabilization function, but the hand holding the camera could still be moving, and reflections off the lens would not be subject to that image stabilization. So I believe it actually is a technical explanation.
Okay, and what would that be?
Well, like I said, the image stabilization function of the camera could cause the main image to be stable, but it's not that the camera is not in a tripod. Somebody's hand was holding it. And reflections off the lens from the overhead light could be reflected in the person's hand movement.
Yeah.
Now, if everything's stationary in a tripod, that would not be a valid explanation, because that would indicate that there was no movement. But
exactly. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it is a good point.
But do you think it's possible the person holding it, if they held it almost as still as a tripod? Now, you're mentioning that the technology behind a cell phone has a stabilizing feature to it. So do you think it's incapable of someone holding a cell phone stable enough where that still would not be a possibility of it being a real orb there? So back us up on that. You said if it was on a tripod, this would be a non-discussion here. But since
essentially, yeah, because there'd be no human movement involved, it would be stationary. But I also did notice that as the performance was happening, the person was actually moving the camera slightly, and you could see occasionally that the focus would change a little bit, and even though the image remained mostly stable. But like I said, any reflections off of the actual lenses in the camera would not be subject to the image stabilization, and that's what that appears to be to me.
Okay. What do you guys think? Brad, you talked about it a bit. Give us your commentary, Brad, then we'll get to everyone else on that topic.
Submitted for your approval. That's all I can say. It's there's so many different theories. There's so many different things that it could be. It could have been. I know what we really want it to be. Scientifically, it's got to be there's got to be a reason scientifically, but science and paranormal don't go together. They never did. They never will. There's still some unexplained things that are going on, and all I can tell you is that the energy in that room was phenomenally positive, and so much love. I felt it, and everybody there felt it. There was not a negative energy there, and I'm just wondering why it wasn't on the other lenses. And I know there were other people taking.
I think Glenn's point is Glenn, right, Glenn?
Yes.
Yeah. This is Chip speaking. And I think Glenn might have a good point, because if you recall, when you first brought it over to the editing room, when I looked at it, my first thought was these are just reflections bouncing off of cell phones, because the cell phones can't handle the fact that we've got 4 and 8K lights there, professional lights. So we're not picking up anything, but you're on the outside of our circle with a person holding it, and it's bound to just fly images all over the place. So that was my first thinking. I still probably hold on to that to a certain degree, but it's kind of fun being kind of mysterious about it too, isn't it? We're all here talking about it, so.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Your point is well made, Glenn.
Yeah. I definitely believe that there are things out there that can't be explained. I actually took photographs at the Whaley House in San Diego, and one of the photographs showed a ghostly image that could not be explained by anything in the room or anything behind me. And I also took pictures before and after that, and they did not show this image. So I have seen things that are not explainable, but I believe this one is explainable.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's why we're here. That's the video is going to be the whole video that I put together showing all of this, and I'm going to put another one together with my sister's additional footage that she says she has that I haven't seen. This video will be up on my website, mercerandsutter.com. You'll be able to see it for yourself and look at it at your leisure, and then send me an email, bradmercerradio@gmail.com, and let me know what you think.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else that wants to make commentary that's missing tonight's show, you can still call in, because we still have some minutes to talk to you guys. But make sure you do make commentary to Brad if you're someone who's rather shy and doesn't want to comment in chat, or you don't want to call in, and contact Brad directly. He gave you the email address.
I love it.
Yeah, one more time, Brad, the email address to email you.
Okay, email address is bradmercerradio@gmail.com.
Cool. And Glenn, by the way, I'm appreciative of Glenn calling in, because Glenn is actually a follower of my previous show talking about paranormal, UFOs, and all that stuff related to that. So Glenn is actually Glenn. Give a little introduction to yourself. Glenn is a believer in the paranormal, a skeptic. I forget which one you are, because I know you listen to the show. More of a believer.
I'm both. I was a longtime listener of Art Bell, but I also work in the IT industry for a living. So I have a fairly decent scientific and computer background, but I also believe, again, like I said, there are things out there that can't be explained.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pleasure talking with you, Glenn. Thanks for calling in, man.
Absolutely, Glenn. Thanks so much for calling in, and thanks for always listening to the show and following the show and shouting it out to your fellow admirers of this topic, paranormal or music, both. And we're doing both tonight. We're talking about music and paranormal. So, Glenn, thanks a lot for joining in.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Okay.
Take care.
Peter, I don't think you chimed in on that. Did you want to add anything to what we were talking about, Peter?
No, I'm listening and following. Very interesting.
Okay.
Hey, Peter, what is that ghost flying around Brad in the background there on the ceiling? You see it, that white light?
Yep.
I've been looking at it through the whole show. It looks like you can almost say it's an angel with 8 people, right?
That's his cattle path.
Now, by the way,
You know, it's staging. It's staging, Chip.
Yeah, a little halo.
by the way,
Yeah, a little halo.
it is not a UFO, and I'll tell you exactly why, because I've got the definition of UFO. A lot of people think it's unidentified flying object, but watch this clip, and this clip will explain to you what a real UFO is.
Here's a real UFO, unidentified food object.
Just for that, no more hotcakes.
You do love me.
Okay, back to the Dave Darren Show now. You guys probably missed that because you'll have to play it back in the replay, but there's a definition of UFO. All right, so let's see. Anyone else want to call in? We still have a couple more minutes, and I'm glad we got the perspective of various people who called in.
Yeah, this has been great. It really has.
We got Sparky, Glenn, and you guys as well. So let's see if anyone else calls in. I wanted to take one other caller that we got. Let's get Terry in here. Terry, if you want to call.
You know, you should play the official music video at the end of this show. You really should.
I'm going to do that. And you gave us the ability to play it and the permission to play it, so I'm going to air it. And I love to air it. It'll be the full video of I'm Coming Home, professionally recorded and directed and produced. And we're going to play that along with the credits, so you see who created this phenomenal piece of entertainment and spiritual movement. And it's kind of a tribute to the Beatles, correct?
Yeah, it's an homage to the Beatles' Hey Jude video. So if you're familiar with the Hey Jude video, you're going to love this one. And somebody brought up it was kind of like We Are the World.
I brought that up, and I think someone else did as well. I think maybe it was Chip that also said so. Is that right, Chip?
No, that was you, Dave. You get all the credit for that one.
I get all. Okay, you know what? Can you guys see me in live footage, or is it the 8-second delay? I'll have to pat myself on the back for longer than 8 seconds so you see.
Here's my blue butterfly. Go ahead.
I'm patting myself, and I'm looking at the blue butterfly, and at the same time, we've got my current frequent caller, Terry, on the line. Terry, how are you tonight?
I'm fine. How are you, David?
I'm doing pretty good. So I'm sorry I frustrated you without calling in. So what's going on? You know Brad. You know Brad is a tremendous artist.
So, first of all, when I call in, as soon as you pick up the phone, I put down the volume.
Okay.
Hi, Brad.
How you doing, Terry? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. I love your butterfly, Brad.
Oh, thank you. I do too. I'm going to treasure this butterfly.
That I went to a spiritualist church quite often in Salem, Massachusetts. And the spiritualists believe, of course, in Indian land and the Indians. And my guide happens to be an Indian. But anyway, I was thinking about the orbs, and I do believe that the orbs, it could be somebody who lived in your house before you, Brad. It could be a family member, as Sparky said, who wants to just say, hi, I love you, I'm here, I'm around you. You don't see me, but you've got this little butterfly going around. There's something. What's the matter, Dave?
Oh, nothing. We're just.
Yeah, I'm giving you some background music.
Yep. So,
you gonna give me some music?
Yeah, we got.
Yeah, I just did.
Yeah, we got some background music as well, along at the same time you were talking. But I actually found what you said to be interesting and fascinating. So did you?
Are we gonna stop Indian music?
Yeah. So by the way, did you happen to see? We're going to play the video. I'm Coming Home. We're going to play that later on. But let me take another caller. Terry, thanks so much. We got a call from the UK, so let me bring them in because they're out of the state calls. Hello, welcome to the Dave Darren Show from out of the country in the UK. Who do we have calling in?
It's your blessed UK correspondent, Mr. Omar Razvi.
Omar, great to talk to you. Omar is one of the best admirers of the Dave Darren Show. He's actually my UK correspondent.
All right. You know the Beatles?
Can I just say a big up and big love to my second mother, Terry Doherty, right now?
Yeah, you can say that. I think we lost her on the call, but she's going to be listening in, and she's going to appreciate
I
your
hope
shout
she's
out.
listening in. All these troublesome times now, me personally, I've done a lot of soul searching about the real people in my life that matter. Dave Darren, you're one of them, and all my crew from the Dave Darren Music Interview Show, John Carnival, all the people I forget to mention as well. I'm not being disrespectful, but I'm feeling the love, brother.
Oh, thanks. Thanks so much. Now, in the love and all that we're talking about here, do you think that this orb or this spiritual entity is drawn to specific music? For instance, we hear passionate music. Every piece of music is written with a large degree of passion because it comes from their heart, their soul, and it gets from their instrument or their music vocalization of their singing. It gets out to their audience, and it's a passing of that intense feeling because they created it from their heart. Do you believe that the spirits are connected to music and entertainers? What do you think about that?
I certainly do, and I do think that at the end of the day, whichever paradigm you come from, now again, I'll reiterate one point. At the end of the day, I was born into a certain religious belief system that I discarded because I don't believe in that. Paradigm, but I do believe in real people and the fact that real people in the afterlife will be there, and we need to be there for them. I'm in a state of mourning at the moment because a very good friend of mine, she was 36, 2 Mondays ago, she passed away. She went into hospital on the Saturday evening 2 weeks ago, and by Monday she was deceased, and her name is Share the Brett. And we're all doing at the moment from here, we've got a group page going called #Share for Share, like singer Share. She was just the most beautiful soul that anyone could have ever come across. I hadn't seen her probably for about 15 years. She was a good friend of mine. She was an artist. She was so talented, so gifted, and just such a beautiful soul. She was the kind of person, Dave, that you'd meet in the street and you haven't seen her for years, and no matter how pissed you're feeling, she'd uplift your soul. A true angel walking in human form. So, again, like I say, I don't know why it happened. The thing is, at the moment, like I said to you yesterday when I spoke to you, it has been put down on her certificate, on her death certificate, that it was down to COVID-19. Now, we don't know. Again, I don't want to go into the things that whether it was something else or not that contributed towards it. But all I know is that if I can take a moment now to say that please everyone tomorrow, we're having a service through my friend Edward Morrow for her tomorrow afternoon. There's going to be a whole 2 days worth of musical entertainment on her page that's going on in remembrance for her life. And the most important thing is that we remember and we understand that the true people that made a difference in our lives as individuals, we must respect them.
Well,
I agree. I totally agree. And I'm so sorry for your loss. And I do want to tell you this, that at the end of this show, we're playing the music video, I'm Coming Home, and that I want to dedicate it to her. I really think that it's
Dave.
so
Dave,
so important that this song
I'm going
goes
to
out
give this
to her.
out here, not for me personally, but it is from me and for all the listeners that are in tonight that are part of our community. Now, again, last week was the 2nd anniversary of Art Bell's passing. Art Bell, like all of us, why have we all come together? The bottom line is why we've all come together on your show and for us. And I remember I never knew you from, excuse my profanity, from fucking Adam, right? Until April last year. And then when you put up that tribute to Art Bell, I thought, my goodness, this man is so good. And all we got to do is we got to remember the people that are there for us, Dave.
Yep. Well, thanks so much, Omar, for calling in. We do have another caller from my local area code in Arizona, so we're going to get to that caller But I think Brad wants to say one closing thing to Omar. Looks like he wants to speak to you.
Yeah, no, just God bless you, and please stay safe.
Absolutely. Omar, thanks a lot for calling in. Let's get to my last caller.
Thank you
for
so
the
much. And again, to all the listening audience for the Dave Barron music and interview show. Dave, please keep it going. I know you're having a little few second thoughts about doing it or not, but I'll tell you what, in this troublesome time that we're all experiencing now, you are a beacon of light, my friend. Cool. Please keep it going.
Okay,
for the sake of that. If it's just for the sake of that, take your preconceptions and whatever you think out of this equation. But I'm telling you, Dave, you're doing a great service, my friend.
Oh,
thank you.
Okay, thank you, Omar. And let's get to my Arizona caller at 480 area code. Who's calling in? Give me your first name, please.
Hey, Dave. How you doing? Made it to the show.
Oh, thanks. Again, who are you? You broke up a bit. I want to make sure we get your first name, not anything else. But who is this?
Jeff.
Jeff. Okay, Jeff. How's it going?
Hey, brother. How you doing?
Hey, not too bad. Pretty good. Have you been listening to a lot of the show? What's your commentary on the orbs that we've been witnessing through this fantastic video that we're going to play at the end of the show, dedicated to Omar's friend? So, what do you think about tonight's show?
Okay. So I had to do my. I was a guest for another show, and I'm just now calling in and just now tuning into your show. So I missed it. I missed the orb. I was wanting to know if you could play it again for me.
Okay, I can play once. I'll play the Buddy Greco part because that was more predominantly showing, I think, what we're talking about. Do you agree with that, Brad? Is that a good one to show?
Yeah, that'd be a good one, yeah.
Okay, so I'll play that. It's a 36-second Buddy Greco thing. Anyone in the background with background noise, please turn down the background noise or put yourself on mute. And let's play the Buddy Greco part right now. Here we go.
Now, this is when we were shooting Buddy Greco Jr. on his drums. You notice now it starts over there
here, moving around
on the right-hand side, and it's
of Buddy Greco Jr.'s
white.
drums. You can see
It's
the
more
drum
white than
kit.
blue.
Now you can see it move to the bottom platform. Now it's
good
back
time,
focused on Buddy Greco
coming
Jr.
around Buddy,
again.
caressing Buddy.
And now you can see the
What's
tail
that?
on it.
It's fluttering.
The blue,
or like
purplish
little light
tail.
pieces.
On
Now watch as it
orb
departs
itself,
Buddy's
moving around
his head.
You can see a little closer.
the
now it's
wings
moving again on
of
the
an
ground.
angel.
You can see the stable images of the
Now, come
humans, the drummer, etc. So you can see all of that. So now that you've seen that, Jeff, what do you think?
That's amazing, man.
What do you think, Jeff? Any comments?
Okay, there's a delay there, so I'm just now seeing the video now.
Okay, well that's okay. Tell us about it as you're witnessing it. What do you think?
Well, do you want me to be honest?
Yeah, go. Of course.
Of course.
Yep.
To me, it looks like a reflection off the camera lens.
Okay.
Which camera lens?
From the camera lens of the person who's filming it.
Dave, still there because I'm still online.
You know, that camera lens, there were two completely different cameras that have the same orb with a little bit different reflection.
Okay, could I see the other video of the other camera?
Let's see. What clip would that be part of?
That would be the one when Chip was directing.
Okay. Let's see.
It could be, because it looks like the video is shooting some kind of on stage or some kind of like TV show with bright lights. That would consist on the camera flare on pretty much all the cameras facing towards that light.
Okay, let's show another perspective here. I'll play this one. So.
Why was it reflecting the two cameras shooting the actual video?
Okay, here's another.
What was that,
clip.
Chip?
Then why wasn't the two cameras actually shooting the video, not the cell phone? The two cameras, why weren't they picking up the same thing? Because we're looking at right at the light.
That's true.
Well, the TV cameras for the TV shows, I'm not able to see the video yet. There's a delay. Would not pick up those lights because the lights is behind the camera. But everybody else filming who's in direct, looking at the lights, that the lights are shining towards them, it looks more like the camera lens, and it looks like a flare. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, here's.
I'm looking at the video now.
Yeah, there's another. You got a 8-second delay, but what do you think of this as it's running?
Yeah, that spotlight there, that spotlight that we're looking at, that's right in front of, on top of the roof. It's reflecting off the camera lens there. Yep, that's it. There's a butterfly. Yeah, and you can actually see as the cameraman is moving around, he's jumping around there, and that's exactly So in my opinion, no, the person's filming it. So just in my 20 plus years analyzing videos and looking at these orbs and stuff, it's my opinion that it's the light flare from the camera.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but till it went behind me, that's when I went, oh, something else here.
Do you have that video?
It's fun. I played so many of them, I forget which one is which. I probably can't pick that out of the top of my head here. I'm sorry.
Brad, what kind of cell phones were being used to shoot those two making of?
Okay, the one with the blue butterfly where you were directing was an iPhone, and the other one was a Samsung 9 Android.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, two different phones. I'd actually asked that of Brad if they were using the same phones to see if there was, a commonality between two iPhones that have a lens there, because they're both fisheye lenses, and I thought that they could maybe capture the lighting in a certain way. But since they're both different phones, I thought they.
But that really doesn't have anything to do with it. I mean, if all the cameras are faced towards that spotlight, all the cameras are going to pick up that lens flare.
Okay, well.
Yeah, but it looked. I agree with you there, but it looked more. Not like a lens glare. It at first I figured it was, but that first video just kind of like whoa, especially when it would come out of the frame completely, and then caress the director, and then shoot over to me.
I'd have to look at that video.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. At the end of the show here, I'll send, with your permission, Brad, I'll send over to Jeff the full thing, so you can look at it. And Jeff is a person that does critique these videos.
Yeah, well, I'd be very that's great. Nice to have you on the show, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, you still there?
You're kind of breaking up. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm missing that.
Okay, so
I just said nice to have you on the show, Jeff. I really appreciate your comments.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and by the way, since we still have Jeff on the line before you hang up, so that you can correspond with Brad directly, Brad, give out your email address so that this correspondence can take place.
Okay, it's Brad Mercer Radio @gmail.com.
Okay, that sounds great.
Okay, so Jeff, I'll send you over the video, and then you can communicate to Brad directly about what you see that might be an anomaly, what you see might be realistically captured with an explanation, or what you see is still mysterious. So, and Jeff's a very honest guy, so obviously he is, and he'll correspond with you and tell you his perspective offline. Okay?
Sounds great.
Okay, Jeff, thanks so much for calling in. Okay?
Thank you, my friend.
Cool.
Bye-bye.
Cool, guys. Anything, closing arguments, closing discussion, closing commentary from any of you guys that are remaining on the line? What do you think?
I just think this has been a fantastic get-together, and it'll constantly go. I'm going to be watching this all the time. It was great to have Peter and Chip and Sue on. Thanks for jumping in there, guys. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Cool. Peter, you still there, or did we lose Peter? Okay, anyone else in the background that we missed saying goodnight to? Okay, maybe that's it. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to play a closing couple clips here. And I'll play how to connect with Brad in case you missed it. I'll play Brad's closing remarks. And after that, we are going to close the show with I'm Coming Home, which is the full video. It's the production video out there, which you can get that, by the way. How do you get that? After you've watched it, you've seen it, you love it, you want to get it for your home viewing, how do people engage with that?
If you want to download the full HD version, you can go to our website, mercerandsutter.com. that video is there for streaming and also downloading the HD version. And if you're not already registered on the website, it's only $1.50, and it gives you access to all the videos that are up there forever. So mercerandsutter.com.
Cool. And Chip, what's coming up with you? You're doing more video production work. Anything you want to announce that might be exciting to us?
Actually getting ready to start a television series.
Wow.
So this pandemic is over. It's just kind of set up to go. So that's what we're kind of excited about. And yeah, there's always videos happening, but nothing scheduled at the moment because of the pandemic.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And Chip was very gracious. He offered to send me MTV videos that are coming up. What is it? MTV US or MTV over different
countries? Well, there is no MTV now, but it's MTV Europe, MTV Canada. They still run videos like the old school way. And then, of course, CMT, Country Music Television. So, yeah, if we're doing a video for any of those outlets, we'll sneak you a little advanced copy of it first.
That'd be really super. MTV, the old-fashioned way, I got to tell you, I miss that. I don't miss the Kardashians. If the Kardashians get kicked off of MTV, which I said
oh, God, please.
I said what MTV stands for with the Kardashians is Massive Ass TV. It should be MATV, Massive Ass TV.
Yeah, she tried to make her way on my red carpet when I was doing a screening of Sushi Anyone.
Really?
Yeah, she tried to ace her way up to the red carpet, and I had the cast up there, and finally I had one of the security guys say, "Hey, can you remove her, please?"
Right. Did she try to ace her way in there, or did she try to ass her way in there? Which was it?
Hey, whatever turns you on, man.
That is true. That is true. All right, so Brad, Chip, Peter, and all of our callers tonight, thanks so much for calling in. I'm going to play...
Nice talking to you.
Yeah, nice talking to you guys. I'm going to play a goodbye brought to you by the Green Acres folks, and then we are going to play I'm Coming Home. Okay?
See you later, man.
See you guys later. Cheers,
Take care,
guys.
man.
Take care. Have a great night. Thanks for being part of tonight's show. Here we go, guys.
Bye. Oh, sorry you have to go.
Not me, you.
Oh.
Dingle Burvis.
What?
That's what they said when they took off. I think it means good night.
Well, Dingle Burvis to you.
Now, will you go to bed and stop this nonsense? All right. See you in the Clegan.
Don't count on it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the David Frost Show. It is my pleasure to introduce you to, in their official music video, with a nod and a wink to the Beatles, the magnificent Mercer and Sutter.
Sitting here, feeling down, have to leave this dismal town. Paranoia setting in, don't know where I'm going, don't know where I've been. Simple times are long gone. I hear you calling, won't be long. Sounds of promise on the rise. I hear you calling, I hear your cries. I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
I see it in the mirror. I feel you calling out, I'm shunning all the fear.
I'm coming home.
Hope he passed the audition.
They always come back in the middle of Burvis, which means night. I figured it out by myself, because when they left, they said Dingle Burvis, which means good night. Now, if you take the dingle off, that leaves you with a Burvis. It's not an easy language to understand.
Neither is the one you're talking.
Sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.